If you love roller coasters and theme parks, at some point you're going to get caught up in the debate. Which park is better, Six Flags Magic Mountain or Cedar Point? All right, we're going to dive in. Oh. So, one of the big debates among roller coaster and theme park fans is which park is better, Magic Mountain or Cedar Point? And you've got a lot of, forgive the term, fanboys that are locked into thinking about their park and just cannot see anything outside of it. Magic Mountain has theirs, Cedar Point has theirs. And if you say anything negative about either one, so we're going to dive in anyways. Now, there is this long-standing joke on my channel that I hate Cedar Point. So let me get that out there first. I don't hate Cedar Point, but Cedar Point does happen to be where I had the single worst experience at any theme or amusement park ever. And if you want that whole story, I've actually got a whole video about it. Forgive the green screen in it. It was early, but I tell the whole story over in this other video. So I'll point you to that direction. The two parks are very different though. And they're both good in their own right, but there is definitely one park that stands out above the other in overall quality. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of do a comparison, and I'm going to talk about the roller coasters, the other rides, food that's available, shows, shopping, atmosphere, and then just kind of an other category. And it should be pretty clear by the time we are all done which park stands out as the best. For roller coaster fans, there's one place that they always start, and that's the roller coasters. So that's where we're going to jump in. Magic Mountain has 20 roller coasters. Cedar Point has 18. Magic Mountain right now is well ahead of Cedar Point in that they have more roller coasters. They've actually got the current world record for the most roller coasters in any park. Cedar Point definitely is a couple coasters behind. But what about quality? Because really, when it comes down to it, what good is it to have 20 roller coasters if you've only got 6 that are decent? Or 18 if you've only got 5 that are decent? And Magic Mountain, yes, it has more, but it actually, in my opinion at least, edges out Cedar Point just a little bit as far as quality goes. Twisted Colossus is fairly comparable to Steel Vengeance. I think Steel Vengeance edges it just a little bit. But you've got Wonder Woman, you've got Apocalypse, you've got Riddler's Revenge, you've got Batman, which is pretty equivalent to Raptor, Full Throttle. It just has this great collection of awesome coasters. Tatsu is there. Six Flags Magic Mountain edges out Cedar Point just a little bit. Just a little bit as far as quality. Cedar Point has more coasters that I would consider good, but not great. I know people love Magnum. Magnum to me is I think Morgan actually did better hypercoasters with like Mamba. Cedar Point has some great coasters, don't get me wrong. Millennium Force, Steel Vengeance, Maverick, fantastic coasters. Can't wait to introduce my family here to them in just over a week. That's going to be awesome. But Magic Mountain does have the edge here. However, we then bounce past that. How about other rides? Thrill rides, family rides, dark rides. I'm not counting kiddie rides, and I'm not counting water park rides. Both parks have a water park to them. You can go see that. Probably fairly comparable. I think Breakers might edge a little bit, but I haven't been to either one in a long time. So let's just call that even. Let's call the kiddie rides even for now, just for the sake of making it simple. So what else is there? Magic Mountain has 11 other rides. Magic Mountain actually has more coasters than it does other rides. In fact, when you go to Magic Mountain, you can almost feel like all you're doing is roller coasters because it has almost twice as many roller coasters as it does all other rides for adults and families. On the other hand, you get to Cedar Point. Cedar Point has 26 other rides. So take the number of coasters and add half again, and you're right about the number of other rides. Cedar Point has more than twice as many other rides as Magic Mountain does. Again, not counting kids rides, not counting upcharge rides. There's 26 other rides at Cedar Point that you can experience and have fun with. That's a pretty clear winner. Cedar Point has basically just about every single ride that Magic Mountain does, plus others, a whole bunch of others. There's only 1 or 2 rides at Magic Mountain that Cedar Point doesn't have, and they've got so much more on top of that. Cedar Point, clear winner there. So 1 point for Magic Mountain for coasters, 1 point for Cedar Point for other rides. Next point, food. Hey, if you're going to a park, you gotta eat, right? Magic Mountain has 10 snack stands and 14 restaurants. And when I say restaurant, I mean any place that you can order an actual meal. So chicken strips, hamburgers, pizza. They've got 9 types. So yes, chicken strips, hamburgers, pizza, tacos, sandwiches. The pretty standard park fare Magic Mountain. Total of 24 places you can get some food. Oh, by the way, no sit-down dining either. It's all counter service. Cedar Point, on the other hand, has 17 places you can get snacks, so 7 more. 22 restaurants, 8 more than Magic Mountain. That's only including what's in park too. And of those, 3, I believe, were actually sit-down dining options. Gee, oh, and the variety, much bigger at Cedar Point. The other thing that really makes Cedar Point stand out versus Magic Mountain, this is personal for us, is Cedar Point actually notes which restaurants have gluten-free options, vegetarian options, allergy-free options. And I'm actually looking forward that when we go, we'll be able to tell them, hey, my wife has this kind of allergy, and they'll go, we can take care of that. They're very forward about, hey, we have options for allergies. We have options for diet restrictions. We're going to take care of you. Magic Mountain, it's the difference between the Cedar Fair chain and Six Flags as a whole. Because we see it at Worlds of Fun versus Six Flags St. Louis as well. It's a big difference when you got somebody who's got diet restrictions. Cedar Point for food. Shows. Six Flags Magic Mountain currently has 4 shows listed on their website. 2 music shows, live music. They look like kind of walk-by atmosphere ones. 1 dance show. You get to watch people dancing on stage. Okay. And 1 live DJ at night. That's it. Just 4. Their theaters are slowly disappearing. They're not getting used. Magic Mountain has very little entertainment. Cedar Point right now has 7 shows. 6 music shows, including 3 variety music shows that are actually in theaters set up specifically for them. The other 3 outdoor on stages. And then 1 character show. Okay, maybe I'm a little bit goofy, but you've got kids there. Why don't you have a show for the kids? Cedar Point has the Peanuts. Magic Mountain has, let's see, you've got DC, you've got Looney Tunes. Why aren't they in a show? Yeah. Clear winner, Cedar Point. I'm sorry, shows are a big thing for me. And if you haven't seen shows at the park, you're missing it. And for somebody like my wife who can't ride coasters, that's all the difference in a park. Cedar Point. Next up, shopping. Shopping here is actually fairly equal. They've both got similar number of shops, but Cedar Point actually has a couple things that Magic Mountain doesn't. That Magic Mountain used to, when it used to have Spillican Junction. There goes a ways back. Craftspeople. Cedar Point actually has a glass blower. It has an old-time photo, which Magic Mountain doesn't anymore, and it has the Frontier Craft Company. So there are some different options there. They both have your standard theme park stuff that you can find at any theme park, all the generic things, but then Cedar Point steps up just a little bit with a bit extra. So, half point Cedar Point when you compare it to places like Silver Dollar City or the Disney parks or Universal and others. Those others just blow them away. But Cedar Point shopping isn't bad. Cedar Point could actually take some lessons from Knott's Berry Farm, though. Atmosphere. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Because Six Flags Magic Mountain is built in the mountain desert of Santa Clarita. Summers, it's just hot. And, it's hot. it's hilly. It's just what it is. And then it used to have a lot more atmosphere and theming, and it's really become very generic. You walk around the park, you kind of have a DC area, but you basically recognize it's the DC area because of the signs, not because of the theming. There's a beautiful area over by the log flume that's wooded. That's pretty. Samurai Summit doesn't have much samurai in it anymore. The atmosphere at Magic Mountain, it tends to be very generic for the most part. Cedar Point, on the other hand, you've got their Frontierland, that very much has a rustic frontier look to it. It's actually, for a amusement park, it's a great themed area. It looks better kept up overall. A lot of it is generic, but the one themed area there is great. However, you also have to take in something a little bit different. Cedar Point's on this peninsula with Lake Erie around it, and has beaches. It has water skiing that you can do, boat rentals. There's just this whole amazing atmosphere from the water that comes in that really adds to the feel and the atmosphere at Cedar Point. The other thing that Cedar Point really kind of edges Magic Mountain is Cedar Point's 100 years old. There's a lot of history there. There's a lot of very well kept but old buildings that add to the atmosphere that Magic Mountain just doesn't have. And some of the ones they had, not 100 years old, but the old atmosphere buildings are gone. Cedar Point. So, where do we end up? Magic Mountain wins on roller coasters. Cedar Point wins on other rides, food, shows, shopping, a half, atmosphere, 4.5 to 1. Pretty clear winner. Cedar Point. Be there in a week. See you at the point. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I would love to hear your opinions. Please tell me what you think. Do you prefer Magic Mountain, or do you prefer America's Roller Coaster? I'd love to know. Share it in the comments below. Hey, if you think I'm a complete doofus and completely missed the point, share that as well. And that's okay. I might even use your comments later on in another video. You never know. Make it fun. Keep it family friendly, though. Thank you so much, to my patrons and my YouTube members who make so much possible, including this upcoming trip to Cedar Point. Can't wait. Thank you as well to my dog, who is playing upstairs and adding a little bit of atmosphere of her own. And thank you so incredibly much for watching. God bless. And yes, chicken strips, hamburgers, pizza, and family coming home. Moody, no. Hey, stay away from that. This is not a puppy zone. My dog is chewing her toy right next to the electric strip. So Cedar Point. Hey. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions, your ideas. Be sure to share them in the comments below, or you can contact me. There's information in the description that has my email address, fan pages, information about merchandise, and so much more. So be sure to check that out. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, and if you haven't already, hit the button right up there to subscribe. And in fact, if you did enjoy this, I've even got another video for you right here. And also about these wonderful people here, those are my YouTube members and my patrons, the ones whose financial support makes this possible. I couldn't do it without them. If you want to know more about that and the perks that come with it, well, be sure to check the description. There's a link right down there. Thank you so incredibly much. God bless.